Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, That Model Railway Guy, and welcome to another loco review. And today's engine is from a manufacturer I've never featured before on the channel. Yes, it's the P Class from Hattons, and I've been wanting to take a look at this for a while, partly because it's good to remember that there are more model railway companies out there aside from Hornby and Bachmann, but mainly because it's a really good model. Now, the P Class is by no means new. They've been out for a few years now, and I've had mine for a while too. They were released in a wide range of liveries covering everything from BR black right back to the wonderful SE&CR lined green that you can see here. So, taking a look at the livery, and this is the first thing that jumps out at you because, well, it really is spectacular. Certainly no expense has been spared when it comes to the lining because it's everywhere. On the side of the tanks, on the cab doors, on the bunker, and it's not like it's simple lining either. If we look closely, you can see it's a combination of red and yellow with a lighter green band in the middle. And when you see this, it's not hard to see why this livery has become so popular in the last few years. We also get this repeated on the boiler banding, which is done really nicely too. And if we look at the running board, there's also yellow lining all along this as well as on the steps. Meanwhile, back on the tanks, we have the lovely gold SE&CR lettering, as well as their crest underneath too, and these are printed really well. In fact, the printing on the loco as a whole is some of the best I've ever seen, with everything being really sharp and crisp. Further back, we have a little builder's plate just beside the doors, and on the other side is the number 27. There's no lining on this, but given that Hattons haven't cut corners anywhere else on the model, I think I trust that it's prototypical in this instance. Moving on to the buffers, and as you can see, these are indeed sprung. It's a nice little feature, and one that's not always included on smaller locos. The buffers also have yellow lining all around them, and the buffer beam itself again has very crisp printing on it with the lining, and also the number 27 again. If I had to find a fault, and I'm really plucking at straws here, I would say that the red on the buffer beam is a bit bright. In comparison to the Hornby H Class, for example, which is in the same livery, it does look a little bit fluorescent. However, as I say, it is a minor niggle, so it's not something I notice all that often. Moving on, the Smokebox looks very nice as well, with the dial and hinges picked out in silver, and there's also lots of rivet detail around this area too, which is really nicely moulded. On the top of the loco, you can see that we have a metal whistle on top of the cab, which is nice, as the plastic ones in that area can be a bit prone to breaking off. The safety valves are also modelled very nicely, with the spring picked out in red, and we also have a nice gold dome on this one too. Hattons have gone for a more matte finish on this, and if we compare this to the Hornby H Class again, you can see that this has a much more shiny dome. The Hattons one doesn't look bad when stood on its own, but next to the H Class it does look a little bit subdued in comparison. It's a bit difficult to see inside the cab with it being so enclosed, but the detail looks really good in here too, with levers being picked out in certain colours, and the gauges even have the dials painted on. The back is also just as good as the rest of the loco, and you can see that the two spectacle plates also have nice gold frames around them. The P Class also has lots of detailing, pipework and handrails all over it too. If we take a look at the other side of the loco, you can see what I think is a Westinghouse pump. I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments with that, but as well as that, there's also a lovely gold pipe that runs along the side of the boiler back to the cab. Hattons have really gone all out with this model, and it looks stunning, but now the most important question is how well will it run? Well, it's on the rolling road, so I'm just turning the power up now. And yeah, as you can see, it's got a really good crawl. Not only is it really slow, but it's also very consistent too. I found that it's very rare for this engine to cut out or stall. I'm turning it up a bit now, and you can see that it is a nice smooth runner, although I don't know if you can hear, but it is a tad noisier than some of my other locos. However, that doesn't seem to affect the running qualities at all, so it's not something I'm massively concerned about. Okay, I'm turning the power right up now, and it's still able to cope at these higher speeds, although I doubt it would have ever managed anything like as fast as this in real life. And if I flip the controller over to the opposite direction now, you can see it's just as smooth in reverse. I have to say that honestly, not only is this one of my best looking locos, but it's also one of the best runners too. It performs really well at slow speed, and it feels very controllable too, so this is a fantastic engine for shunting with. So with that said, let's get it down onto Pickwick Yard and do just that, shall we? So the P Class is a phenomenal loco, and I really do think that Hattons have knocked it out of the park with this one. Not only is it a fantastic looking model, but it also happens to have some of the best running qualities I've ever experienced, and as you can see, it's more than happy shunting wagons on my micro layout. Considering that the Hornby Peckets are around the same price as these, and we all know how good those are, this P Class stacks up incredibly well against them, and I'd say you definitely get what you pay for with this. Anyway, that's it for this video guys, but do let me know down in the comments what you think of the P Class and whether you own one yourself. I've also got a very fun video coming out next week that features this loco too, so make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss out on that. In the meantime though, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!